Welcome to a journey through the most haunted places in Finland, where chilling legends and restless spirits lurk in the shadows. From eerie castles to forgotten villages, these locations are not just steeped in history, but also in mystery. Are you ready to uncover the terrifying secrets that lie hidden beneath Finland's stunning landscapes? Let's dive in. 1. Turku Castle. Turku Castle, standing ominously on the banks of the Aura River, is a place where history and the supernatural collide. Built in the late 13th century, this medieval fortress has witnessed centuries of bloodshed, betrayal, and despair. Its stone walls whisper tales of tortured prisoners whose agonizing cries are said to echo through the dungeons on stormy nights. Visitors report eerie footsteps trailing them in the dimly lit hallways, and shadowy figures glimpsed in the corner of their eyes. The most chilling of all is the legend of the Lady in White, believed to be the ghost of a noblewoman who was tragically murdered within the castle's chambers. She is often seen wandering the Great Hall, her sorrowful gaze piercing through the centuries. To step inside Turku Castle is to feel the weight of its haunted past pressing down on you, a reminder that some stories refuse to be forgotten. 2nd, Muso Manor. Hidden deep within the Finnish countryside, Muso Manor is a place where elegance and darkness intertwine. This 18th century estate, with its grand halls and sprawling gardens, exudes an air of timeless beauty, yet beneath its charm lies a chilling secret. Legends speak of a restless spirit, a maid who met a tragic end after a forbidden love affair. Her presence is often felt in the manor's silent corridors, where guests report cold spots and the faint sound of weeping in the dead of night. Doors creak open on their own, and candle flames flicker violently as if disturbed by an unseen hand. The most unsettling encounter comes from the ballroom, where some have seen her reflection in the gilded mirrors, staring back with sorrowful, accusing eyes. Muso Manor stands as a haunting reminder that love, betrayal, and tragedy can leave their mark far beyond the grave. 3rd, Kusisto Castle ruins. The crumbling remains of Kusisto Castle stand like a forgotten monument to a bygone era, shrouded in mystery and unease. Built in the 14th century, this bishop's castle once served as a seat of power, but its walls have witnessed unspeakable horrors. Locals tell of cursed rituals performed in the dark of night and of prisoners who perished in its damp, oppressive dungeons. Today, the ruins are eerily quiet, but visitors claim to hear faint whispers carried by the wind and the sound of chains rattling in the shadows. On misty evenings, a ghostly figure clad in robes is said to appear among the broken stones, glowing faintly before vanishing into the darkness. Some believe it is the tormented soul of a bishop betrayed by his own men. To wander through the ruins of Kusisto Castle is to feel the weight of its cursed history, a place where time seems frozen and the spirits of the past refuse to rest. 4th, Finland Factory, Tampere. Once the heartbeat of Tampere's industrial era, the Finland Factory is now a shadow of its former self, cloaked in an unsettling aura. Built in the early 19th century, this sprawling complex was home to countless workers, many of whom toiled in harsh conditions. One such worker, a young woman, met a tragic end in a horrific machinery accident. Since then, her restless spirit has been said to haunt the factory floor. Night guards report hearing faint cries echoing through the empty halls and spotting fleeting shadows darting between the machines. The most spine-chilling tale involves the elevator, which moves on its own as if guided by an unseen presence. Some visitors even claim to feel a cold hand brushing against them in the darkness. The Finland Factory remains a living relic of its haunted past, where the boundary between the living and the dead feels dangerously thin. 5th, Alexandrin Teateri, Alexander Theatre, Helsinki. I hjärtat av Helsingfors står Alexander Theatre som ett stort oändligt skådespel, men bakom dess opulenta gardiner ligger en skrämmande underström. Built in the late 19th century, the theater has long been a hub for performances, yet some claim not all its spectators are from the land of the living. Actors frequently speak of an eerie presence watching from the balcony, even when the seats are empty. A ghostly figure, dressed in old-fashioned attire, has been seen wandering backstage, vanishing into thin air. The sound of phantom applause echoes through the hall, as if from an audience unseen. The most terrifying encounters happen late at night, when performers alone on stage feel an icy chill and see the faint outline of a man standing in the wings. The Alexander Theater is a masterpiece of art and mystery, a place where the spirits of the past never miss their cue. 6th, Suomenlinna Fortress. Suomenlinna Fortress, a sprawling island stronghold in the Helsinki archipelago, is as beautiful as it is foreboding. Built in the 18th century to defend against invaders, its tunnels and barracks have seen centuries of warfare, suffering, and death. Beneath its serene exterior lies a labyrinth of dark passages, where the shadows seem to move on their own. Visitors often speak of hearing disembodied whispers in the damp, echoing corridors and feeling an unshakable sense of being watched. Soldiers who perished during sieges are said to still roam the grounds, their restless spirits appearing as flickering lights on foggy nights. The most harrowing tale is of a young officer, betrayed and executed by his own men. His ghost reportedly wanders the fortress, his face twisted in eternal anguish. Suomenlinna's haunting beauty draws countless visitors, but for those who linger too long, its dark secrets may come alive. Saitsemus. Noaki Amusement Park. By day, Noaki Amusement Park is a cheerful place with colorful rides and laughter filling the air. But when the sun sets, an eerie transformation takes hold. This small, remote park is rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a child who tragically died in an accident decades ago. Visitors have reported hearing faint giggles and the sound of small footsteps running behind them, only to turn and find no one there. One carousel, in particular, is said to move on its own, its haunting melody playing faintly in the still night. Park staff have spoken of flickering lights and cold drafts in otherwise calm weather. The most unsettling story involves a mirror in the funhouse, where some claim to have seen the reflection of a child standing behind them, though they are completely alone. Noaki is a place where innocence and tragedy intertwine, leaving behind a chilling presence that refuses to fade. 8. Old Rama. Old Rama, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is a picturesque medieval town, but beneath its cobblestone streets and charming wooden houses lies a dark secret. Legends whisper of a tragic past, where countless lives were lost to fire, plague, and betrayal. The streets are said to be haunted by the spirits of those who perished, forever lingering in the very buildings they once inhabited. The eerie silence is often broken by the sound of footsteps following you, though no one is in sight. Locals speak of an ancient house at the town's heart, where flickering lights appear in the windows late at night, and shadowy figures move behind the curtains. On certain nights, when the fog rolls in, people have claimed to see ghostly apparitions drifting through the streets, vanishing as quickly as they appeared. Old Rauma's timeless beauty hides a haunting truth. Its past refuses to let go, and the spirits of the dead still walk among the living. 9th, Bodom Lake. Bodom Lake, nestled in the forests of southern Finland, is known for its dark and chilling history. In 1960, a brutal triple murder shocked the nation when 3 teenagers were killed while camping by the lake. To this day, the case remains unsolved, and the area has become infamous for its unsettling atmosphere. Visitors have reported hearing strange noises in the dead of night, cries and whispers carried by the wind, along with the feeling of being watched. Some claim to see shadowy figures moving along the water's edge, vanishing as quickly as they appear. On moonless nights, the air grows thick with an unnatural cold, and many believe the restless spirits of the victims still haunt the lake, seeking justice for their untimely deaths. Bodom Lake is a place where the past bleeds into the present, and its haunted waters hold secrets that may never be uncovered. 10th, Rahi Old Town. Rahi Old Town, with its narrow streets and wooden houses, may seem like a peaceful slice of Finland's past, but there's an air of unease that lingers in its corners. This historic district, founded in the 17th century, has witnessed countless tragedies, from shipwrecks to untold stories of betrayal. Locals whisper of the restless souls who wander its quiet streets, ghostly figures seen in windows, disappearing before anyone can approach. The most haunting stories come from the old tavern, where patrons have felt a cold hand brush against their shoulder, only to find the room empty. Some have seen a woman, her face pale and mournful, staring out of a window, her eyes following them as they walk by. Raya's past is alive with spirits, and for those brave enough to walk its forgotten alleys, the veil between the living and the dead feels unnervingly thin. 11. Hamina Fortress. Hamina Fortress, a towering symbol of Finland's military history, is not only known for its imposing architecture, but also for its dark, haunted past. Built in the 18th century, this fortress has seen countless battles, betrayals, and deaths. The spirits of soldiers who perished here are said to roam its massive walls and underground tunnels. Visitors report hearing the distant sound of marching footsteps and the clash of swords in the dead of night, though no one is around. Some have claimed to see shadowy figures standing guard at the entrance, only to vanish when approached. The most chilling encounter takes place in the deep, labyrinthine corridors where the air grows inexplicably cold, and the smell of gunpowder lingers long after the battle has ended. Hamina Fortress stands as a grim reminder that war's echo never fades. Its ghosts still linger, waiting for those who dare to cross their path. 12th. Sasari Open Air Museum. Sasari Open Air Museum, an idyllic escape just outside Helsinki, hides a terrifying secret beneath its rustic charm. This island, with its collection of ancient Finnish buildings, is said to be haunted by the spirits of those who once lived here. The museum's peaceful atmosphere is often shattered by eerie sounds: the creaking of old wooden doors, the rustling of footsteps in the underbrush, and the sudden, chilling feeling of being watched. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly figures in traditional clothing walking among the exhibits, their eyes hollow and unblinking. The most unsettling occurrence happens by the old wooden church, where the sound of faint, mournful chanting has been heard late at night, as if the dead are still holding services. Sasari's picturesque setting hides a dark truth. Its spirits never left, and their haunting presence is always just a step behind. 13. Vitus. Vitus, a stunning villa nestled deep in the Finnish forest, is a place of eerie beauty where the line between art and darkness blurs. Built in the early 20th century by 3 renowned Finnish architects, it is a masterpiece of architecture. But there's something unsettling about the place, something that whispers of tragedy and despair. Locals speak of strange occurrences: flickering lights in the windows when the villa is empty, cold gusts of wind in rooms with no open windows, and the feeling of being watched. Some claim to see shadowy figures in the garden, their faces hidden, moving as if in a trance. The most disturbing stories revolve around the villa's original owners, who experienced personal turmoil and heartbreak. Their spirits, it seems, still linger here, trapped in a place where creativity and madness entwined. Vitus is a haunting reminder that beauty can conceal a darker, more sinister presence. 14. Fiskars Village. Tucked away in the Finnish countryside, Fiskars Village appears as a picturesque, tranquil retreat. Yet, beneath its charming facades, a chilling presence lingers. This once thriving ironworks village, founded in the 17th century, carries with it the weight of centuries of hardship, labor, and death. Locals tell tales of eerie encounters, strange sounds drifting through the air at night, like the faint clang of metal being struck, though no one is around. In the old mill where many workers perished, visitors report sudden drops in temperature and the feeling of unseen hands brushing against their skin. Some say they've seen shadowy figures moving behind the windows of the abandoned homes, their eyes hollow and searching. Fiskars Village, with its peaceful veneer, is a place where the spirits of the past are never far, always waiting, always watching. 15. Oland Islands. The Oland Islands, a remote archipelago off the coast of Finland, are a place of stunning natural beauty, but beneath the waves and among the windswept shores, something far darker stirs. The islands have long been the setting of ghostly tales and eerie legends. Sailors speak of ghost ships that appear out of the fog, their sails torn and flapping in the wind, only to vanish as quickly as they appear. On moonless nights, the air grows thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the distant sound of chains dragging across the rocks. The spirits of long-dead sailors and pirates, lost at sea or betrayed by their comrades, are said to haunt the coastline, seeking revenge for their untimely demise. Some claim to see shadowy figures walking the beaches, their eyes glowing with a thirst for vengeance. The Oland Islands are a place where the living and the dead coexist, and for those who venture too far, the ghosts of the past may never let go. These haunted locations are just the beginning of Finland's eerie history, where the past refuses to stay buried. If you dare to visit, remember, some spirits never leave. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more spine-tingling tales from around the world. Stay haunted,